The Iberian Derby, Portugal-Spain. Can Portugal beat Spain? This Portugal can't. Now, I have some papers in front of me because I was studying the press in Spain and Portugal this mornings, what do their previews, and what can I say? Nobody mentions the game 15th of June 2018 World Cup in Russia, Portugal-Spain 3-3. Ronaldo scores all 3 goals of Portugal. Nobody remembers that game. What do people remember? I mean, my colleagues, they remember the game which was almost exactly a year ago, June 8th, in Munich, the final of the Nations League. Again, it was 2-2, and Portugal won on penalties, and Ronaldo scored the tying goal. What do the Spanish say? First of all, they, on the one hand, they say what Spain should do, and on the other hand, they say what they think Luis de la Fuente, the coach, is going to actually select. What tactics is going to be absolutely decisive, especially from a Portuguese side. But whom are they going to play? These are the two, not probably, for sure now, remaining teams, the most technical 2 teams of this World Cup. Spain has already expressed its level. Last game against Austria, it's absolutely dominated. It's not a matter that they won 3-0. It's a matter of how they played. They dominated Austria, absolutely. Portugal, well, the first time against Croatia, yes, they did. They kept the ball. They didn't let Croatians to play. But the second time was absolutely disastrous. For Portugal, I mean, Croatia did whatever it wanted. And the fact that Ramos, who substituted Ronaldo, scored the goal, the winning goal, is it's such a gross mistake of Croatian defenders. 2 central defenders were next to Ramos, and no one jumped. Only Ramos jumped. Strange. And then the goal disallowed for Croatia. Guardiola scored. I mean, it is the chip in the ball that decided that it was offside. Technology, there was no perception at all that the Croatian player touched the ball. No perception at all. Only the chip in the ball, of course, registered that touch. It was minimal, maybe even the player himself didn't feel it, and nobody else saw it, and Portuguese did not protest. But anyway, it was disallowed, and Portugal went through. The Spanish, of course, they are respectful. Of course, they fear Portugal, because Portugal, even if it plays badly, it wins the decisive games, at least against Spain, even if it's on penalties. But what is quite curious, they have a very low opinion of Cristiano Ronaldo. The Spanish papers say that Cristiano Ronaldo versus Lamine Yamal, no, that's not, I mean, this is not a comparison at all. Portugal is physically and tactically disrupted. In a game of Colombia, especially in Spain, they stress it. In a game of Colombia pressed them, attacked their midfield structure, and that's why they were successful. I think this is how Spain is trying to play, and Spain is much more technical than Colombia. As far as the lineup is concerned, De La Fuente was very happy after Austria. He didn't even hide his satisfaction. His smile was wide as the stadium. He adored his team the way it played, and I think that he is going to play exactly as he played, the same lineup as he played against Austria, if no micro injuries that we don't know about. Now we come to Portugal, and Portugal's weakness is the collective game. And the Portuguese press is asking themselves, I mean, the leading newspapers, why do we have such a great midfield that doesn't express itself? It does not. It does not play good football. Portugal, with the players that they have, didn't play one decent game, one decent 90 minutes or 96, whatever it is now. Because even the Portuguese admit that Roberto Martínez, the head coach of Portugal, he tailored the team to Cristiano Ronaldo. And Cristiano Ronaldo, in my opinion, he creates a bottleneck. He clogs just the central line because flanks go and they search for him, be it defenders or be it wingers. And everybody searches for him. And it's so easy for the opponent because Ronaldo, he's not as mobile as he was. He's not as dynamic. Yeah, he can score. He can score from a set piece, or he can score a penalty. But Neymar also can score a penalty. And what? So it's the problem. Portuguese they acknowledge, but they would like Ronaldo not to be alone. That Ronaldo should play with Ramos together. Well, Martinez says in press conference, well, that's impossible because that will disrupt all the structure. But what did he do? In my opinion, he left out the best midfielder that they have. He had to make a decision. He had to make a decision because it was impossible to play with all the jewels on the field. And he, I think, made the worst decision of all. Against the Spanish midfield, which is Rodri, Pedri, and Dani Olmo, and Pedri is a todocampista, and he is everywhere, and he is technically very, very, very good. Rodri is someone who helps with defense, who distributes the balls, who more or less, he's a metronome. Let's put it that way. He controls the tempo of the game. And Dani Olmo is very dangerous there between the lines, and he can shoot well. So it's a well-composed midfield for such players like Yamal. Lamine Yamal is in good form. Nico Williams is not, and that's, I think, a loss for Spain. But still, everybody who is on the field is now, the team is tuned. It's tuned like an instrument. It's tuned. Portugal is not at all. Though the Spanish press also warns, they say Spain plays better, but Portugal has that individualities that can change the game in 1 second. For Martinez, Roberto Martinez, it's a decisive game. And I would, if I was Portugal's coach, and I say it because it's easy to say after the game. It's not that easy before. And I say that against this Spain, I would play 4-3-3, and I would play without a number 9, without Cristiano Ronaldo, and without Ramos. I would do like Guardiola in the two seasons, 2021 and 21-22, when he played, when he was asked, who is your center forward, he answered space. I would play absolutely Bernardo Silva, absolutely, who's been left out. For me, I can't understand it. Bernardo Silva, Vitinha, and Neves. I would play 4-3-3. Today's football, you have to understand central defenders, 2 or 3, like Ronald Koeman with Holland. All of a sudden, against Morocco, he played 3 defenders. He almost succeeded, but at the end, Morocco went through, and he resigned, and he is criticized in Holland exactly because he played 3 defenders. So you play 2 defenders, 2 midfielders, holding midfielders or distributing midfielders, or you play 2 central defenders and 3 midfielders. So 4-3-3 is basically 2 central and 3 in the middle. So I would play Bernardo Silva, absolutely. He stitches the game. He's the only one who can stitch a game in a Portugal's team, despite all the talent that they have. I would play Vitinha and I would play João Neves in midfield. And in attack, I would play Leao, Bruno Fernandes, and Pedro Neto. Pedro Neto plays on the right, and he prefers to play on the right. And don't forget, last season, if you take a whole season, he scored 10 goals and he had 10 assists. He was really the best assist man in England. So, Leao had a horrible season in Milan. He doesn't like to return. He doesn't like to defend, but that already depends on a coach. I mean, he does what you tell him to do, and he will do it because he wants to play for the national team. If not, you just substitute him because Pedro Neto can play right or left. And that, at least initially, I would try that against Spain, because Spain is not Croatia. Spain is Spain, and Spain is not going to give you 45 minutes of superiority if you don't move and you don't attack predictably. So that's my opinion. And now I can say, at the end, they're playing in Dallas. It's an air-conditioned stadium. Both teams had the same, more or less, schedule. They slept the same number of nights. Basically, I think the conditions are very equal. And if Portugal plays the way it played all the 4 games before, I think we have no chance. If Roberto Martínez, in these days that he had, he prepared a different tactical disposition on the field, they have a chance. So that is my prediction. Spain, from what we saw, is not necessarily more technical and not necessarily has better players, but it plays better. It plays as a team better than Portugal. So we'll see.